So today we'll see how joins in SAP ABAP works. In the previous sessions we worked on for all entries. Why we used for all entries? To select data from multiple tables using that header internal table or the first level table data as input. We are selecting corresponding data from the next level table, right? Using for all entries. So in our previous example, what we did, we selected employee master data, and to find the department, what we did, we used that employee master data as input for the department data table to find departments of that employees, right? By using for all entries. Like that, you can use the first level internal table data. Yeah. So now we're going to discuss on joins in SAP ABAP. So what are the joins? We use joins in select statements to select data from multiple tables by combining the data. Okay, by using joins we can combine data of multiple tables. Multiple in the sense more than one. Okay, that might be 2 tables, 3 tables, 4, 5, 6 or 10 tables also, right? So in previous S4 HANA, so prior to this S4 HANA in ECC versions, which we run on different third-party databases, so SAP recommended not to use more than 5 or 6 tables in the join condition. Okay, so it might impact the performance. So now in S4 HANA, since it is running on HANA DB, okay, there is no such restriction. You can use maximum possible tables in the join. You can join even 10 tables. But what is the prerequisite to join the tables? There should be a common field. There should be a common field between table 1 and table 2. Okay, and it doesn't require to have a common field between table 1 and table 3. Okay, so table 2 and table 3 can contain a common key. Okay, it doesn't require that all the tables should have a common key. Okay, so what are the tables we are joining? Those 2 tables should have a common field. Okay, better to have a primary key. Better to have a primary key field. Okay, so prior to this we observed for all entries. What did we do using for all entries? We selected data from multiple tables, right? By using first level table data as input, we are going to select corresponding data of the header level or first level table using for all entries. There, how many select statement we need to write? If you need to select data from 3 different tables, we need to write 3
See,
different select statements when we are using for all entries, right? To select data from all those 3 different tables. And then what we need to do? We need to use a loop statement to combine or to merge those 3 internal tables data into single internal table, right? Clear? You see this? If you are selecting data from 2 different tables, what we need to do if you are using for all entries? First you need to write select statement on employee master data, and you need to write select statement on employee department data, and by using some loop you're going to merge both internal tables data into one internal table. This is what happens when you are using for all entries, right? So how many times our program is going to hit the database, need to connect with the database?
3 times.
3 times. If you are using 3 select statements, it should hit the database 3 times, right? Now If we take joins, by using joins, we can select all the data from the three different tables in a single select statement. In a single select statement, in background, in database itself, it will combine the data and provide us the output, provide us the records from all these different tables. Okay, but we should make sure to use proper join condition. When we are using joins, we should make sure to use proper join condition. Otherwise, it will provide you the incorrect results or duplicate records. Okay. So if you don't join the primary key fields, what it's going to do? It's going to provide hundreds of thousands of duplicate records. It will repeat the same records. Okay, that's why join condition is very important. We should prefer to use primary key fields in the join conditions. Okay. Okay. What are joins? Joins are used to combine the data from multiple tables. We can select using single select statement. Right? Now, types of joins. What are the types of joins?
Not join.
Inner chain,
Inner
right,
join,
left outer chain,
left outer join, and right
the
outer
right
join.
outer
And
chain.
in a different
Inner
SQL
chain.
things, like you can see many other joins, like uh, what is it? Full outer join. This kind of joins also there. Union also there. Okay, in HANA, if you go to HANA DB level, but in ABAP, the most frequent user joins are inner join and left outer join. Okay, these two joins I most frequently used. Right outer join I never tried it. Okay, so what is inner join? Inner join selects records
Common records.
which exists in both tables. Okay, so that record should be available in first table and that record should be available in second table. Then only that record will be selected. Record in the sense how it is going to compare from both tables. There should be a common field, right? Okay, so that common field value should be available in table 1 and table 2. Then only that record will be selected. Okay, so it will select only common records. Let's say one record is available in table 1 and that record is not available in table 2 with the same key combination, with the same field combination. Is it going to select that record?
So,
It will completely ignore. Okay, if the record is available in table 1 and that is not available in table 2, it is not going to select that record. It will ignore. Okay, that common key field value should be available in both tables. For example, if you take employee ID 100, that employee ID 100 record should be available in employee master data as well as employee department data. That 100 should be available in both places, in both tables. Then only that record is going to be selected. Otherwise, it will just ignore. It won't select that record. Okay. So available in both tables. And how it is going to compare? common field value. For example, if you take employee ID in join condition, where table 1 employee ID equal to table 2 employee ID, that particular employee ID should be available in both tables. Clear? Okay. For example, like this. Okay. So that particular field value should be available in both tables. That is inner join. So it will select only matched records and ignore the records which are not having any matching records. Left outer join. What is left outer join? Left outer join selects all the records from left side table. If you see here, this is left outer join. It will select all the records from left side table. That is this. We have two records in this example, 100 and 200, and select only matching records from right side table. That is left outer join. Okay, only matching records from the right side table. Okay, and all the records from left side table. When you have such requirement, we use left outer join. Because if you use inner join, if there is no common records, it's not going to select any record, right? Correct? It's not going to select any record. Because if you apply inner join here, you can select only one record. You are going to miss record number 100, right? Let's assume department ID is optional. Department ID is optional. Here we have two tables, right? Employee master data and employee department data. Let's assume employee department is optional. That value is not that important. Okay, but employee master data is important. You want to select all the employee master data and select department data if it is available, if it is maintained. If it is not maintained, leave it. Leave that field blank. In such cases, can we use inner join?
No, left out.
If you use inner join, if there is no department data available for that employee, it's not going to select that record. For example, if you take record number employee ID 100, employee ID 100 is available in employee master data. But is it available in employee department data? Is it maintained in that table? This 100. Is it maintained in department table, employee department table?
No.
No, right? It is not maintained here. So there is no record, common record between both tables for employee ID 100. If you use inner join, is it going to select employee ID 100? No, it will select only 200 because there is only one common record between both tables, that is employee 200. The employee ID 200 is available in employee master data and that is also available in employee department data. Here what is the common field between both tables? Employee ID, right? So that employee ID value should be available in both tables. Here we have only 200 available in both tables. That's why it is selected only one record when you use inner join. But in my case, I want to select all the employee records, all the employee master records and select department if it is available. If it is not available, leave it. But I need employee master data. That is mandatory. In such cases, if you apply inner join, it is not going to select all the records, employee master records. that employee master record is not available in employee department table, it will ignore it. It won't select, right? That's why here inner join is not suitable. What is the suitable join here?
Left outer join.
Left outer join.
Left outer.
So that it will select all the employee master records because it's the left side table, right? It will select all the employee master records and only available department data. Only available department data. That means common records. Okay. Here if you observe, it is selected 100 and 200 because we have two records in the employee master data. It is selected all the two records. And then next, it is selected department ID for only 200, right? It is selected department ID only for 200, right? But for 100, it is blank. It did not select that department data because for employee ID 100, there is no department record available in employee department table. You can see it as blank value. Okay, clear? So what is left outer join? Selects all the so when we use left outer join, when data in left side table is important or mandatory, important, and data in right side table is optional. Okay, we use a left outer join. Clear? Now next, what is right outer join? It is quite opposite, right? I'll simply copy and paste it. Right outer join. So selects all the records from right side table and select the common records from left side table. When data in right side table is important and data in left side table is optional. What is the join we use? Right outer join. We use right outer join. Clear? If you see this example, if you see this example, when you are using right outer join, it is selected all the records from right side table. What is right side table here? Employee department table, right? It is selected all the records from employee department table. SAP, three records, we have three records, right, in SAP department table. It is selected all the three records and only common data, common records from right side table. What is the common record between both tables? 200, right? We have only one common record, that is 200. So it is selected values for that common record 200. Remaining, leave it as blank, right? In this case, if you apply inner join, you are not going to select all the departments data. You can only select single department. Okay, that's what a right outer join. So if you want, I'll give you one more pictorial representation like this. What is this join? Let's assume this highlighted color is the common records. What is this join?
Inner.
Inner join.
Yeah.
What is this join?
Left outer join.
Left or right?
Left side.
This is left outer join because it will select all the records from left side table and only common records from right side table. Please observe, it is very important interview question as well. Joins, types of joins and how each joins work. Not only in interview point of view. So you are going to use joins very frequently, okay, in S4 HANA environment, okay. It's going to reduce the number of selects, right? Number of database selects. If you use join, you don't need to write multiple select statements. It will give you all the data at once. Like you don't need to, again, you don't need to write a loop statement to merge multiple internal tables data. Okay. Whenever joins are suitable, it would be very convenient. You can quickly finish the program because it will provide you a final output, right? Almost by combining all the tables data. That's what we are doing for using for all entries, right? First we are selecting using different select statements, and again we are writing a loop statement. Why we need to use a loop statement? Why we are looping? Why we are using loop statement in for when we are using for all entries? Because to merge it, by using that loop statement, we are merging those multiple internal tables into one single internal table, right? But here if you use join without using those loops and all, it will give you that final result. But what is the prerequisite? There should be a common field.
Common field.
Common field. Okay.
At least one common.
At least one common field. Yes. Common field in the sense every table doesn't need a common field. Okay. If you
First
take,
table and second table.
yeah, first table and second table should have a common field, and second table and
Second
third
and
table
third.
should have a common field, and third table and fourth table should have a common field. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not every table doesn't need a common field. Okay. Is everyone clear? Can we go to the program? What is this client number?
Eight hundred.
Oh man, I know that is 800. What is client?
Hey, 2020 HANA 2020.
No, I'm
Sorry.
asking what is client?
Logical partition between server.
Logical partition. Client is a logical partition. Okay. Okay. Program. So what is the type of the program we need to select?
Executive.
Executable programs. Once we completed the joins, we have to see rest of the types of programs. Include and now before starting the program, what is required? We need to do some analysis, right? What is the required inputs? What are the required
Requirement.
inputs? So what is our requirement for the program? So we'll display some employee data, okay? Employee and employee department data as a output, okay? For that, from how many tables we need to select data?
Tables.
2 or 3.
Three sec.
So employee master data is available in ZDemo employee, okay? And employee department data,
ZDemo department
ZDemo
underscore
department. It is available in ZDemo department ID. Okay. First, let's work on these two tables. Okay. Later you can join 3 or 4 any number of tables. Okay. So we have employee master data in ZDemo employee and department data in ZDemo department. So not this. I think we have to take the other because there is no common field here. This one, ZDemo department, employee department. What are the primary keys here? Employee ID and department. Here we have employee ID, and in ZDemo department we have employee ID. There is a common field, right? Employee ID is the common field here. Now let's join two tables. Do you want to see how it works in for all entries first?
Start of selection. End of selection.
Now we'll take some data of join as input. Okay.
DOJ. ZDemo DOJ.
Yes. And we'll pass some default value. What is the SAP's default date format? internal date
Year,
format.
date, month, date.
Date, month, year.
Can you come again?
Year, month, and date.
Year, month, date.
Month and date.
Okay,
So this
like this.
2022 012.
Okay, this is SAP's internal date format. Don't forget this. I think someone told me the reverse DD. What is the date? I'll pass 06 12 2022 as a default value, and I want to make sure that at least there is some value in the date of join. If
Sir,
S,
now you made it in the reverse thing, sir.
sorry, 22 06 12. No one observed, only you observed it.
2022, sir. 20.
2022, sir.
06
Starting sir 2022.
20, yeah, 0612. If p underscore doz is initial, what do you mean by initial? Is initial?
If there is some value.
Sorry,
If
There is
there is
some.
some value.
There is no value.
Value no.
I told you guys many times. Is initial means it's nothing. There is nothing. Is initial means nothing. There is no value. Okay.
Yes,
Is
sir, sorry.
not initial means it is not empty. It is not empty. There is some value. Is initial means it is empty. Initial means empty. Please remember that. Initial means empty. Is initial. It is only in plain English, right? It is not even complex condition. It is saying that p underscore parameter is initial. Is initial means if it is empty. If you read this, it is very, it's in simple English. Okay, you should not confuse. It is empty. Then there is a message. What is the type of the error we have to use?
E.
E.
What is obligatory? What is obligatory statement?
Mandate.
To make that parameter as a mandatory input. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
You don't need this validation. Okay, both are same now. Okay, obligatory and this condition, whatever the condition we have written, both are for the same purpose. But if you use obligatory, it won't display this customized message. Whatever the message we need, enter DOJ, it won't display that message. It will just say enter all required fields. Okay.
It will show red star.
Hmm. And also, why we need this set selection screen validation? For example, if you want to do any validations based on some calculations, okay, and if you don't want to allow date of join beyond some date, or you don't want to allow the user to enter date of join prior to 2010, those kind of validations we have to do in net selection screen only. Okay, we cannot do it in obligatory or parameter level. Okay, and also you cannot display this customized message if you use obligatory. Okay, shall we use for all entries and then convert it to join, or how you want me to write this program
We'll see
directly?
with for an end.
Yeah, first we'll see how we can achieve this through for all entries, then we'll make it as a join. Okay, see these validations and everything, right? I'm not going to implement every time. Okay, you have to observe what are the parameters we have, and we have to implement when you are practicing the possible validations, because if I'm trying to implement everything, right, it will take more time to complete the single concept. Okay, now So first select the data from employee master data, select. I don't need all the fields from employee master data. I want only selected fields. I want employee ID, employee name, date of join and phone number. I don't want the rest of the fields. I'm going to use inline declaration. I'm not going to use internal table declarations and everything. I'm going to declare internal table in the select statement itself. Hope you guys know how to define internal table and work area for this. If you are not using inline declaration, what you need to do? If you are not using inline declaration, what you need to do? To select only these required fields, first you need to define
Type.
types
Type structure.
structure with required fields, ty underscore emp data, and then you have to list out all the required fields. Whatever the fields you are selecting, you have to list out in the same order. In the okay, first field, first type. Sometimes you may need to use it like use okay, in some scenarios you need to use like this. You need to select data like this. So please observe how we are selecting only required fields. End of ty underscore emp data. So in this program I am going to cover multiple concepts. Please pay your attention. Okay, don't rely on the recording videos. Okay, live class is very important for you. Recording video is just optional. Okay, if you want to learn by recording videos, I have another playlist with all the recording videos with the same concepts. Okay, you don't need to attend the class. So you have to pay attention on the live class. Okay, that is very important. Now I've defined the type structure. Next, define the internal table.
Underscore employee data
Type
type the standard table of
standard
TY
table of ty underscore
employee
emp data. Okay, now you can use this
Work
internal table.
area.
Yeah, work area again for select statement. This is enough. Internal table is enough. If you want work area, same type.
Emp data type.
TY underscore
TY underscore
employee
emp data.
This is work area. Now we are going to write, now you don't need to use commas. Okay, don't use commas in normal select statement. It is only for new ABAP syntaxes. Okay, select statement with the inline declarations. Okay, if you are not using inline declaration, don't use commas. Just use a space. Okay, select. Okay, required fields. I've listed out all the required fields. This order is very important. This order is very important. From ZDemo, if you don't follow this order, okay, you won't get any error. You won't get any error here. It will select the data, but it will keep employee ID in employee name in phone number. You will get different values. Okay, for example, if you change the order like this, it will place employee ID in the employee ID only, but employee name in date of join. It will place employee name in the date of join, right? And date of join in employee ID. Maybe no, it will place employee ID. What is the second field? Employee name, right? It will place date of join in employee name. Okay, in the output you can see date of join in employee name field. So that's why this order is very important. Whatever the order you have taken in type structure, you have to maintain same order here. Into table, because we are going to select multiple records, right? By the date of join, we are expecting more than one employee record. That's why I am using internal table. I'm not using select single. But if you know all the primary keys of that table, for example, if we are using employee ID as parameter, do we need to use select statement or can we use a select single? So let's assume this is your select statement. And if I am passing employee ID, do I need to use select or select single?
Selecting it.
For example, in parameter, how many inputs you can enter? Only single input, right? That is 100. For example, 100. How many records you are going to get? Only single record, right? Because employee ID is the primary key field. Employee ID is the primary key field. So that you can directly use select single. Let's assume employee name is also primary key field. Let's assume employee name is also primary key field. I am passing employee name also as a parameter, both employee ID and employee name. So in this time, what is the suitable select statement? Select single or select?
Select.
Select.
Why? I'm passing both, right? Both inputs, right? Employee ID and employee name.
Yes, sir.
In that combination, how many records you are going to find? That employee ID and employee name combination. If you assume both are primary keys, only
Only
one,
one.
only one, right? So at the time also you don't need to use select. You can directly use select single. Okay. When you are passing all the primary key fields of the table as input in where condition, what is the select statement we can use?
Select single.
Select single. Okay. But there are some cases where we are going to I'll tell you, we have a concept called select options where we pass a range of values. For example, employee ID 100 from 200, employee ID 200 from 300, like that. We can pass the range of values. At that time you are going to get multiple records, but if you are passing single value and passing all the primary key values, select single is enough. But here our output is input is date of join, right? Date of join is not a primary key field. We can expect multiple records by same date of join, right? How many records we found for the same date of join? Multiple records. So we cannot use select single in this scenario. Into table, do I need to use at the rate data or not?
Sir.
Sorry, what is it?
No.
No, because we are not using inline declaration. We have defined the internal table name,
Already
right?
it is. Yes, sir.
And to filter the records, what we need to use? Where condition. Where DOJ. DOJ is the field of this employee ZDemo table. P underscore DOJ. That's it. We'll just display the data. If it's a class method, now let's see how it will work. I'm just displaying only single table records. Okay, no records for this 12th June 2020. What is the date I have provided? 12th June 2020. Oh, I want December 6th. So this is the output. Okay, this is output for only required fields, right? First you have to define the type structure and define the corresponding internal table, work area, and then you are going to write your select statement by using that internal table. Okay, at that time you don't need to use the escape signs, that is at the rate here. Okay, you don't need to use commas. Okay, let's say you have taken employee ID, employee name, DOJ and phone number, right? Let's try to change this order. Is it going to work or not? I've changed the order in the select statement. What it is saying, the data type of the component employee name is not compatible with, since it is a date field, it is not allowing. Okay, since it is a date and employee name is a character type, it is throwing error. Let's change employee ID and employee name because both are character type, right? Let's change this order. Is it throwing any error? Do we have any error here?
No, sir.
But order is not as expected, right?
Yes.
Now let's see how the output will be. We don't see any error. Okay, program is working. Execute. Observe the data. So employee name is populated in employee ID. Employee ID is populated in employee name, right?
Yes, sir.
So we should not always rely on error messages. In this case, what we can say, you don't see any error, but is it a proper output? No.
No, sir.
So these errors, right? Most common things what happens in the projects, right? These kind of errors going to be identified in test servers. Because we'll just check, is there any syntax error as a developer? We just check, okay, there is no syntax error, then execute. Okay, we got the output. So we assume that, okay, the program is working. Then we'll release it to test system. Then the testing team will do the testing. Even they'll validate the values. What is the value it is populating in employee ID? What is the value populating in employee name? So they'll create a defect. So the output is not as expected. Then again we need to change it. Let's assume if you perform the unit testing. Let's assume before releasing it, you perform the unit testing and observe the data also. Then you can, as a developer, you can be able to find it, right? Right? If you compare the values, if you see the values with table,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
okay, always when you created the program, always compare the output data with the table. Okay, so is it displaying data as per the table or not? Just compare like this. If you can come to row, right, is a proper output or not?
Not.
Yeah, it is not a proper output when you compared it with the table data. Always compare with table data. Okay, yeah, again it's a different topic. Still we explain. I'll give you this code. This might be the example. You can use it as example to write select statements to select only required fields without using inline declarations. But let's make it using inline declarations. I'm deleting the type structure and internal table declarations. I'm making it as a select statement using inline declaration. I'm using commas between all the fields. into table @data. @data is the statement to define inline declaration internal table, and we have to use escape sign for parameter. Now let's check.
Just change the select option like employee ID employee.
Right, yeah. Here I am not going to change it. Let's observe what will happen. I'll keep the same order. Employee name, employee ID. You mean the wrong order? What do you mean by? Okay, let's see how it will work. Is there any issue?
We are not defining type caption.
So
It is populating the correct data only, right?
yes,
In place of employee name, it is populating employee name. Employee ID, in place of employee ID, it is populating employee ID only. Okay, but the field orders are different. That's it. The field orders are different. It is displaying first field as employee name and second field as employee ID. That's it. The rest of the things are same, right? Here it doesn't matter. You can use any field at any position. Okay, but prior to this, what we are doing, we are defining the order using type structure. Okay, we are saying that first field is this, second field is this, and you are changing the order here in the select statement. That's why it is populating incorrect data. Okay, but here in the inline declaration, it will dynamically create that internal table with all these field mentioned here in the same order, right?
yes, sir.
Now, so come back to our for all entries. What are the prerequisites to use for all entries?
Internal table should have one
Internal
record.
table should not be empty. If it underscore, sorry, if sy hyphen sub or c equal to 0, and if that is the first rule, we are checking the first rule, right? Sub or c equal to 0 means the first internal table is not empty. It is selected at least some record. Okay, that check is completed. What is the alternative condition for this? To check there is at least one record or not, like this.
Is not
If it underscore emp data
is not
is
in not
not
in
initial. What is the meaning of this? If this first level internal table is not empty and there is some value in it, is not initial means not empty. You can also use this. Okay, instead of sub RC check, you can also use this. Both are similar in this case. Okay, so how can you check is there any records in the internal table or not? Using this statement. If internal table is not initial, that means okay, there are some records in the internal table. Clear? Is initial means there is no
it's empty.
record. There is no record in the internal table. It is empty. Okay, you can use any of these statements. Since we are using select statement, sub RC is suitable here. Sub RC equal to 0 means okay, it is selected some records. Select statement executed successfully and selected some records. The first rule is completed. What is the second rule?
So, sorted.
It should be sorted the internal
Sort
table.
first level internal table by what is the field we have to use? The common field, right? What is the common field between both tables? Employee ID.
Employee.
If you have multiple common fields, use those multiple fields here in the sort statement.
Delete adjacent duplicates.
So what is the statement to use delete the duplicate records in the internal table?
And duplicates. Right?
Delete
Delete,
adjacent
delete
duplicate.
adjacent duplicates. So what is the statement we use to delete the duplicate records from internal table? Delete adjacent duplicates statement. Okay, from internal table name comparing. How can you find the duplicate records? Comparing employee ID field. There are any repeated records by employee ID. So delete those duplicate records and keep only unique records. This check is also completed. 3 checks are completed. Now write
So
the
we
third
can
check.
compare with more than one field also.
You can. See, that's what I'm saying. If you have multiple common fields between both tables, if you have two fields which are common to both tables, then use those both fields here. Employee ID, for example,
Employee.
EMP city something. Okay,
Hmm.
you can use both
Employee
fields.
ID and employee city. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
but these two fields should be common between both tables. Otherwise, it will for all entry statements will fail. Now, select the data from second table, next level data for the employee master data. Select MP ID and department ID. I want only those two fields. So here I have employee ID and department ID. Rest of the fields also there. I think we have used, uh, I've shown you just to show how to add structure to the table. Reuse a structure in the table, city and country phone number. So I need only employee ID and department ID from this table into table at the rate data it underscore empdept where sorry employee ID, right? The common field is employee ID. Employee ID equal to employee ID. That's it. Are we missing anything? Where is for all entries? That is important, right? For all entries in which table? The first level table. What I am saying here, I want to select next level department data for all the records, for all the employee records in this internal table. Okay, so I have selected some records into this internal table for the employees. Now I want to select next level department data for all these employees. Okay, compare by employee ID. So this is the condition, right? Now I got the data, right? Now we got two internal tables, right? Now I have my required data. Now what I need to do, I need to merge these two internal tables record into a single internal table, right? A final output.
Yes, sir.
For that what we need? We need a type structure with all the required fields, output fields. What are the fields required here? Combination of these two select statements. Okay, the fields which are using in both select statements. I need those combination of fields. So I need department data from employee department table and employee master data from employee master table. Type So these are the fields, right? We are selecting from both tables: employee ID, employee name, date of join, phone number, and department ID. Okay. See, even we are selecting the employee ID here. That doesn't mean that we should include multiple times. Okay. I am defining a final work area. ty underscore final. Done. Now, what is the next step? We need to merge, right? How to merge? We need to use a loop statement.
Loop statement.
Now tell me, we have two different internal tables: employee master data internal table and employee department data internal table. Now, which one I need to use in the loop? Employee master data internal table or employee department data internal table? Which CSV
Master
field I have to
table, sir.
use?
Master table.
Master table. Why we need to use master table?
Date of joinings.
Why we need to use employee master table in the loop condition, loop statement? Which records we need to loop? Is it the first internal table records or the second internal table records? I have explained you to one simple rule to compare
1:1.
1 to n, right? Take one employee, for example 100. How many records you are going to find in the employee master data for that employee?
1.
One
Number of
record, right? One record. Now enter that employee ID in employee department data. How many records you are going to find for that employee ID 100 in employee department data? That is second table.
1 record.
One record. Let's see what is the employee department data.
Department number.
Enter employee 100. How many records we have?
2 records.
The same employee is working in two different departments, right? Is that possible or not? The
Possible.
same employee is in two different departments. Now, is it 1 or n?
N.
So, the second internal table is n, right? Correct?
Yes.
So, for each employee, you are going to get only single record here, unique record here, because employee ID is the primary key. But here, what are the primary keys? Both employee ID and department ID. You may get more than one record with the combination of employee ID and department ID. Correct? So the N is employee department data. Now which one we need to loop?
Department
N or 1?
N.
We need to loop N. Always please observe like that. Okay. Loop at IT underscore department data into. I am using inline declaration to you define work area. If you already define the work area, you don't need to use this data statement. And you don't need to use at the rate here. Now we need to populate all this data to final, right? Final hyphen employee ID equal to this one. We have employee ID in employee data. Employee name. TOC. What is the other field? Phone, right? Do we need to list out all the fields? For example, if you have 100 fields in this employee master table, do I need to write down all those 100 fields one by one? Is it required like this? Since we have only 4 fields, we are able to write down individual fields. But if let's say there are 100 fields, is it really required to write down 100 times? So the alternative for this is, in a single statement you can move all these fields data. Move corresponding WA underscore EMP data to WA underscore final. What it will do? This move corresponding statement,
Total.
matching fields, right? So this WA underscore EMP data contains these 4 fields. WA underscore final contains some 5 fields. There are some additional fields. So when you use move corresponding, it will populate all the common fields from this work area to this work area. Okay, you don't need to use this one-to-one mapping. Clear? You can use move corresponding. You don't need to use this one-to-one mapping. It will automatically identify what is the employee ID in final and it will populate that employee ID. Okay. Now we have populated the employee master data. Now we need to populate the employee department data, right, to final internal table. Sorry, we have populated, which one we have populated? Employee department data, right, not master data. Employee department data. Now what we need?
Employee master data.
Employee master data, right? So here we have, see in this example, we have populated only one record, I think. Only one value, that is department ID to final. Rest of the values we have to populate. Yeah, now tell me how to get employee master data for this employee. Now tell me employee master data for each employee, how many records we are going to have? Is it 1 or n in employee
Single.
master data? For every employee,
One record.
one record, right? So what is the statement we can use to select only single record from internal table to work area?
Read statement.
Read statement. Read table IT underscore EMP data into define a work area IT underscore EMP data. With key. What
Common.
is the common field?
Employee ID.
ID.
Employee ID equal to if subals equal to 0 and if then populate whatever the employee data to employee master data to final data. Okay, or what is the alternative? You can use this one-to-one mapping. See, when the field names are different, in the final structure and the internal tables, then we need to use one-to-one mapping. For example, I am selecting employee name right here. For example, I am using field name in the final structure as ename, right? Now if you use move corresponding, are we able to get value for ename? because field name in table is different and field name in final structure is different. So at the time move corresponding is not going to work. It cannot identify the common field, right? What is the common field for ename in final table? But here we are using ename and in internal table the field name is emp name. It cannot identify. At that time we need to use like this field to field mapping. Let's assume only that field name is different. Map only that field name ename. You have to map it like that. Okay. Escape sign is missing. Clear?
Department data.
Which one?
In department data ITM is escape missing.
It is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Nesting, there is no open. Okay, we have unnecessarily added one end if.
Indief.
Remove that. It is not required. Loop, end loop. We have to add end loop for this loop. Right? So this is how we populate fields with different names. Okay. In final structure, we are taking name as ename, but in the actual table, the field name is emp name. If you use move corresponding, it cannot identify the common field. Okay, and it cannot populate that value. Let's observe the output. So the merging is completed, right? Clear all the work areas at the end of the internal table. Final and w underscore emp dept. That's it. Observe the code. Do we need to add or remove anything?
So append.
And append.
We're not using append. Append final to
Work area to final item.
final. That's it. Now use that final output. For now, I'll comment this. Let's see how the output will be. This is the output using for all entries by merging all the tables data. But employee name is missing, right? Let's see why it is missing. Now, what is the first step you have to do? What is the first step you have to do? Employee data is not populating, right? To troubleshoot it, what is the first step you have to do?
Breakpoint.
Use a breakpoint at select statements. Execute. F5. So the first select statement is executed. So it should contain employee name, right? Double click on it. Check. Employee name is there. Employee name is selected. No, so no issues in the data selection. Correct? Is there any issue in the data selection?
No, sir.
No. Now, subrs equal to 0. Then sorting the employee ID. So if you apply sort, what will happen? F5. So it is sorted the employee ID and deleted the adjacent duplicates. What is subrs equal to 4? After delete adjacent, what is subRC?
4.
because there is no duplicate records. It did not delete any duplicate records. It cannot find any duplicate record. That's why sub RC equal to 4. Okay. If you are able to find some duplicate records, sub RC will be 0. Okay. Go to statement. I'm going back to delete adjacent. Click here. Go to statements. Let me add one duplicate record here in the debugging mode. Double click on the internal table. I'll add one record. If you click on the settings, you can see this. Append row. One record. Manually, I'm adding in the debugging mode. 101 record. How many records are there for 101 now? 1, 2. 2 records are there, right? Now we have duplicate records, right? First sort it. Go to statement. Go to statement. So you can take back to the controller. F5. Now records in sorted order, right? 101, 101. We have 2 records. Now delete adjacent duplicates. To identify which record it is deleting, I'll use simple thing. I'll change second record. I'll remove the space. Change the pen symbol. I'll remove the space. Okay, so that we can identify which record is it. It is deleting. Is it the first record or the second record? Okay, first record contains space and second record doesn't contain any space. So now delete adjacent duplicates. Sub RC 0. That means delete adjacent duplicates, identified some duplicate records and deleted it. Double click. Which record it deleted? Second record. Okay. So it skipped the first record and deleted the rest of the records. That is clear, right? This is also a very important interview question. What they'll ask you, let's say there are duplicate records for in an internal table, then which record it is going to delete? Is it the first record or the second record? What is your answer? It will keep the first record and delete the remaining records. So second select statement, F5, sub RC 0, we got the data. We got the department data for the employees. Come on. Yeah. So it is selected the employee department data. Now let's merge. Here we are merging, right? And we need to find why employee name is missing. Why employee name is missing. So what is the statement we are executing? Let's check what is WA final. What we can find in WA final. Initially it should be empty. F5 move corresponding. What are the records it is populating? Move corresponding is populating employee ID and department ID from department data table, right? So because employee department data, we are selecting employee ID and department ID. These two fields are populated to final automatically when we use move corresponding. Now executing the read statement, we got the data sub RC equal to 0. Now it is executing move corresponding. So it is populating employee master data to final. Double click on this and click on F5. It is populated the date of join, phone number. But why it is not populating employee name? Employee name is blank, right? It did not populate. Now check what is the root cause of the issue. Now you can identify, okay, check what is the field you are selecting in from the database table, EMP name, right? Now check your type structure. Are you using the field name EMP name or not? The issue is with the field name. You are using a different field name, that is E name. That's why this move corresponding is not able to identify the field name, right? That's why you are getting blank value. Then what you need to do to fix this issue? First thing, you can change this field name of the type structure EMP name, or if you don't want to change, use this one-to-one mapping. Okay, clear? For now I have changed field in the type structure. Execute. So I got the name, right? Now you got it, right? How we are using, how we are creating using the program using for all entries. Let me copy this into a notepad so that I can share you. Now let's change this program to joins. Is everyone clear how we are doing this using for all entries?
So,
Now if you are clear on that, let's make it, let's make this program select the data using joins. I'm deleting everything including select statements, and the type structures too. I'm only keeping only parameter and this validations. I also remove this or just leave it as it is. Now select the write the join statement. Select what are the fields required: EMP ID,
employee name,
EMP name.
date of joining.
See, in join statements also, if you want only required fields, you have to create a type structure with all the required fields and use those fields in the join select statement. Okay, if you are using inline declaration, it is not necessary to create a type structure. Employee ID, employee name, date of join, phone. What are the other fields we need? We need department ID, right? From department table. That's it. Okay, from which table this field is coming from? Define the table here. Using tilde operator. So you have to define the table from which this field is coming from. Department ID is coming from ZDemo employee department. Okay, from which table? ZDemo employee. Is left side table or right side table? Left side table. From ZDemo employee inner join. We are applying inner join on this. Inner join on which table we need to join? This second table, ZDemo department. On condition. What is the condition? Join condition. ZDemo employee ID equal to, that is the condition, right? Common records. How I can find the common records? ZDemo employee ID should contains same employee ID as ZDemo department. Sorry, ZDemo employee department. There should be a matching record by these fields in both tables. then select that record. Into table @ data IT underscore emp data, where doj equal to, right, IT underscore emp data. That's it. Check the syntax. Is everyone able to understand? Here I list out all the fields coming from all these different tables. If you are having 5 tables, list out all the 5 table fields here one by one in the order. Okay, and you need to use this table name and tilde operator to define from where this field is coming from. What is the source of, what is the table for this field? You need to define that using this tilde operator. Okay, clear? That's it. This is the very important. This join condition is very important. So depends on this, you are going to select the records. This depends on this, it's going to identify the common records. Okay, activate this. Did I use the type structure?
No, sir.
No. So you don't need to use any type structures. If you want, you can use. You can create a type structure with all these fields, with all this combination of two different table fields. Create a type structure, final type structure, and use that internal table name here. That final internal table name here, or I'll take it as final. So you can both compare. Now activate it. I'm not writing any loop. I'm not writing any multiple select statements. Execute it. Remove the breakpoint. Got the data, right? I got the data, right? But we are getting some duplicate records. That's because how many key fields we have in employee ID table, employee department table? 2 key fields, right? But we are passing only single key field. That's why it is. See, if you observe, department is different. Again, we cannot say these are duplicate records. We cannot say, right? Department is different, right? For both records, because there are two different departments for 101 and 105. That's why it is displaying 2 different departments. Correct? These are not duplicate records. 101 with department ID SAP, 101 with department ID Java. I think this is what the same output we got when we executed for all entries. Correct? Now let's change it to inner left outer join. I'm just changing this inner join to left outer join. You know, right, what is left outer join? It will select all the records from left side internal table and only common records from right side internal table. Let's execute how it will work. What is left side internal table here? Employee department, sorry, employee master table, right? This one. This is the left side table, ZDemo employee. What is the right side table? The second table, what we are using here. That is the right side table. That's why how we're able to see the output. So it is selected all the employees from employee master table and only common records from department table, because only these departments are maintained in employee department table. For the employees 102, 104, there is no departments maintained in employee department table. Let's check that. Go to employee department, execute all. Check 102. Is there any 102 entry here?
No, sir.
No. That's why it is blank. 104, 104 is also not available. That's why this is blank. So it is selected all the records from left side table, that is employee master data table, and only common records from department ID table, right? And leaving it blank. Clear? Is everyone clear? Now,
Sir, if there are two common records in both the tables means.
sorry, what is it?
Sir, if there are two common records from both the tables.
Okay. Two in
So
this.
here only employee ID is common record
Right.
from both the tables. No, sir, if there are two common records from both
Two
the
common
tables.
records or two common fields you are saying?
Two common records, sir, from the both the tables, like employee ID, employee ID, employee name, employee name.
Didn't get your question. Let
Yes,
Okay, here we have employee ID, department ID. These are the fields. Okay, here
yes, sir.
our common field is employee ID between
Yes,
employee
sir.
master data and employee department data.
Department data. Yes, sir, for example, in the two tables, if there are two fields common, like employee ID
Fields.
and
You need to talk
employee.
about fields, not records. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Let's say there are two common fields. Then it will select by comparing those two common fields. Both should be matched. Okay. So the two common fields values in the first table should be equal to two common fields records of the second table. Then only it will select that record. Otherwise, it won't select.
Okay, sir.
Okay. It will go by those two fields combination. It won't check any one. If you are mentioning like this, like I got your question. Like if you have two common fields
Yes, sir.
like this,
Whether we need to add it or not.
we need to add it in the join condition. Okay. For example, employee ID 2. Let's make it as employee ID 2 equal to employee ID 2. What are all the common fields? Just add it here. Okay. In the join condition. That is recommended actually. Okay. You need to mention all the common fields. Their primary keys, that is well and good. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now let's try right outer join, how it will work. What is the condition for right outer join? It should select all the records from right side table and only common records from left side table. Here ZDemo employee is the left side table, ZDemo department employee department is the right side table. Right side in the sense second table. Okay, the primary table is the left side always. Okay, now let's see how right outer join will work. So it is selected all the departments, SAP, Java, admin and IT. Only these departments are exist, right? SAP, IT, admin and Java. Yeah, it's selected all the departments from right side table and only common records from left side table, that is 101 and 105, right? Correct? Because 101 and 105 are the only common data available in both tables. So that's how joins work. So for the simple program, we took almost 2 hours because we started covering from the basics, from how to use type structures, and we created a for all entries program, and we compared that for all entries program with join. Okay, which one you feel comfortable and easy?
Joins, no.
Joins, right? It is simple. A simple select statement it will provide you the final output, but it is not as simple as like this. When you are working on the programs, you may need to use multiple tables and multiple join conditions, right? But the concept is same. If you need to join one more table, what you need to do? ZDemo, okay. After the join condition, again one more join. Let me change it to inner. One more join, inner join. The third table, ZDemo DEPT on the join condition. So there should be a common field between second table and third table, or first table or third table. Okay, there should be a common field between first table or third table, or second table or third table, and implement your join condition here like this. That's it. You can keep on adding the join conditions. Okay, and you have to mention that corresponding field here if you want to display it in the output. Okay, yeah, we'll see more joins on standard tables in the next session. Okay, going forward, we're going to use the best practices only. Okay, whatever is the best practice to implement the program. Okay,
Yes.
since we have covered how to work with for all entries and how to use type structures, so that we're not going to use it again. Okay, so please practice today. Don't forget to practice. We'll catch you in the next session.
Yes, sir. Thank you.